One of the earlier videos on the channel back in 2020 was Venomizing Pokemon, where I took Charizard as well as some other legendary Pokemon and I added a Venom symbiote to them. It's been 3 years since then and I thought it'd be quite fun to revisit or redo that episode, but bring it up to date. Let's bring these illustrations to life. The world of Pokemon is a magical and wondrous place, full of amazing creatures with incredible abilities and powers. Each Pokemon has its unique traits that make them special. But now, there is a new danger threatening the world of Pokemon, and that is the venomized version of these creatures. The symbiote creature that emerged from a meteorite has the ability to take over a Pokemon's body and transform it into a venomized version of itself. These venomized Pokemon are incredibly powerful, with enhanced strength, speed, and abilities, making them a formidable force to be reckoned with. Charizard, one of the most popular and beloved Pokemon, is just one of many that have fallen victim to the symbiote's influence. The venomized Charizard is a creature to be feared, with its fiery breath and increased power. As the symbiote continues its search for a new host, there's no telling which Pokemon will be next to fall under its control. Trainers and Pokemon enthusiasts must remain ever watchful and be adequately prepared to combat this novel threat, lest they too fall prey to the venomized. This newly emerged threat represents the greatest danger ever encountered by the world of Pokemon, and it's the responsibility of those who hold these creatures dear to rise to the challenge and safeguard them. However, despite the grim situation, there is hope. There are individuals who are working tirelessly to devise a solution to halt the spread of the symbiote and restore the Pokemon under its influence. With unwavering determination and a stroke of luck, they may be successful in putting an end to this menace and reinstating harmony to the world of Pokemon. It is imperative that we tread cautiously. As we traverse the world of Pokemon, for dangers lurk around every bend. It's our duty to confront these challenges head-on, with valour and tenacity, to protect the creatures that hold a special place in our hearts. The future of the world of Pokemon is contingent upon our willingness to rise to the occasion and defend these beloved creatures. We must not forget that Pokemon are not just mere creatures, but they are our companions, friends, and battle partners. We've formed bonds with them that are unbreakable, and we must do everything in our power to keep them safe. The symbiote threat may be new, but it's not insurmountable. As trainers, we must be diligent in our training, always honing our skills and expanding our knowledge. We must prepare to face any challenge that comes our way, whether it be a venomized Pokemon or a different adversity. Our Pokemon are counting us and we must not disappoint them. The only question is which Pokemon will become one with a symbiote next. The first Pokemon to be venomized was Charizard. It went to explore a strange meteor that impacted nearby. As it went to investigate, a strange black ooze-like substance was coming out of the meteor. Completely caught by surprise, the ooze launched itself at Charizard and starting to engulf the Pokemon. It wasn't long before Charizard had a new form, a venomized form. As the venomized Charizard flew high above the forest, scanning the terrain for its next victim, it caught sight of Suicune, the legendary Pokemon. Suicune was widely renowned for its impressive speed and its ability to purify water, but it was no match for the venomized Charizard. Charizard had been contemplating the conquest of this world for quite some time, and upon seeing Suicune defending the Pokemon around it, it realised that transforming this legendary Pokemon into a venomized one could be a significant contribution to its mission. The transformation would not only increase the symbiote's strength, but also augment its potential army for this task. With that in mind, Charizard decided to take action. Descending from the sky, Charizard unleashed a devastating flamethrower attack that took Suicune by surprise. As the flames engulfed Suicune's body, it countered with Hydro Pump, causing a cloud of smoke to cover the two Pokemon. This allowed Suicune to attack Charizard repeatedly while its vision was obscured. However, these attacks were nothing more than the venomized Charizard setting up a trap to catch Suicune off guard. As the smoke cleared, Charizard was seen grabbing Suicune and performing a seismic toss, hurling the legendary Pokemon high into the air before slamming it down on the ground. The impact was felt throughout this battlefield, and it was clear that Suicune had been severely weakened by the attack. As Suicune lay there, gasping for air and struggling to regain its composure, something strange began to happen. The symbiote that infected Charizard's body had now set its sights on Suicune, and it began to bond with the legendary Pokemon's DNA. Despite its fierce resistance, Suicune was unable to fend off the symbiote's advances, and its body began to transform. The once majestic creature was now a venomized Pokemon, a ferocious and dangerous creature that was under Charizard's control. With its newfound power, the Venomized Suicune was now a formidable foe for any Pokemon that dared cross its path. Its speed and agility had been enhanced, and its powers were now even more potent than before. It was clear that Charizard's plan to conquer the world of Pokemon was well underway, and Suicune was just the first of many to fall victim to its influence. Only time will tell which Pokemon will be next to fall under the influence of the symbiote. But one thing is for sure, the battle for the world of Pokemon has just begun. The symbiote had taken over Suicune's body, and it was now under its control, ready to aid Charizard in its quest for world domination. Continuing on its journey across the region, the symbiotes and their new companions, the Venomized Charizard and Suicune, were heading towards the location of another legendary Pokemon. This particular Pokemon is renowned for being powerful and fierce protector of other Pokemon, but it has a deep dislike for humans and trainers due to a bad experience in its past. Zeraora, the electric-type Pokemon, resides in a forest area and is known for its fierce electrical attacks, which can cause significant damage to the symbiotes. Although the symbiotes evolve and adapt for each host they take over, they're still vulnerable to electric-based attacks, which make them less effective in battle with Zeraora. As they journeyed through the region, the symbiotes began to learn more about Zeraora and its unique characteristics. They discovered this Pokemon had a special ability to summon lightning bolts from the sky, which can be devastating to any opponent. The symbiotes also learned that Zeraora had a deep connection to the forest and is able to communicate with the other Pokemon in the area. As they approached the forest where Zeraora resides, the symbiotes began to prepare for a potential battle. They knew they had to be cautious and strategic in their approach, as Zeraora was not to be taken lightly. The Venomized Charizard and Suicune were ready to fight, but the symbiotes knew that they needed to use their own unique abilities to gain the upper hand. Finally, after days of travelling, the symbiotes arrived at the edge of the forest where Zeraora resided. They took a deep breath and prepared for the battle that lay ahead, knowing that they were in for a tough fight against one of the most powerful Pokemon in the region. A fierce battle did ensue between the Venomized Pokemon and Zeraora. The electric-type Pokemon was indeed a formidable opponent, putting up an epic fight against the symbiotes and their companions. However, despite its impressive abilities, Zeraora was unable to withstand the onslaught of attacks from the Venomized Charizard and Suicune. In a moment of exhaustion, Zeraora became vulnerable to the attacks of the Venomized Pokemon, and it was then that Charizard and Suicune were able to hit Zeraora with several tendrils, weakening it further as the symbiote closed in. Zeraora was unable to defend off the advances of the symbiote, and its body also began to transform. The once powerful and fiercely independent Pokemon was now a venomized version, a creature under the control of the symbiote. This was a significant victory for the symbiotes, as they had now added another powerful Pokemon to their ranks. The Venomized Zeraora was now a far more fierce and dangerous creature, with its electrical-based attacks and the ability to summon lightning bolts from the sky. Its connection to the forest and other Pokemon in the area only added to its prowess. With the addition of Zeraora to the symbiotes' ranks, the threat to the world of Pokemon had become even more severe. The symbiotes had now added another powerful Pokemon to their army, and trainers and Pokemon enthusiasts would need to remain ever vigilant in their quest to combat this menace. The battle between Zeraora, Charizard and Suicune was indeed an intense one. The clash of these three powerhouses shook the earth and destroyed most of the forest area they were in, leaving behind a trail of destruction. The commotion, however, did not go unnoticed by another legendary Pokemon who happened to be travelling in the area. This Pokemon was rumoured to be elusive and difficult to find. Darkrai, the legendary Pokemon in question, is known for its ability to inhabit dreams and cause the targets to have never-ending nightmares. To stop the nightmares, one has to expose themselves to a lunar feather from Cresselia, another legendary Pokemon. However, it's important to note that the unleashing of nightmares is actually a defensive mechanism rather than an intentionally malicious act by this Pokemon. Apart from this, Darkrai is also capable of some human speech and can fly at high speeds. It has the ability to become a shadow in order to escape from danger or to avoid contact with humans. Darkrai is a fascinating and mysterious creature whose habits and powers continue to intrigue researchers and fans alike. As Darkrai approached the site of the destruction, it became apparent that something significant had taken place. The once peaceful forest was now in ruins, and the air was thick with the scent of battle. Darkrai was determined to investigate further, but as it got closer, it became clear that there was something not quite right about the area. As Darkrai drew closer, it sensed a dangerous aura emanating from the site. It was then that it spotted 3 Venomized Pokemon, the Venomized Charizard and Suicune, and the newly added Venomized Zeraora. This sight was alarming, and Darkrai knew that it needed to be cautious. In an attempt to escape detection, Darkrai transformed into a shadow and began to move away from the area. However, as it moved further away, it realised that the symbiote had detected its presence, and it was now in danger. The Venomized Pokemon had now set their sights on Darkrai, and they were closing in fast. Darkrai knew that it had to act fast if it were to escape the clutches of the symbiote. With an impressive display of agility, Darkrai darted through the shadows, moving so quickly that it was almost impossible to see. As the symbiotes closed in, Darkrai managed to escape their grasp, disappearing into the darkness. The symbiotes were left puzzled, wondering where the prey had gone. However, Darkrai knew that it could not let its guard down, but it was only a matter of time before the symbiotes would track it down again. It was clear that the symbiote threat was far more significant than anyone could have imagined. It had taken over some of the most powerful Pokemon in the region, and there seemed to be no end to its power. Darkrai knew that it had to act quickly if it were to prevent the symbiote from causing any more damage. As Darkrai headed to alert more Pokemon and the human trainers, it was surprised to be ambushed by the Venomized Pokemon. Taken completely off guard by an electro attack from Zeraora, Darkrai was paralysed momentarily, and a moment was all that was needed to hit it with a symbiote tendril. Even turning into a shadow afterwards was too late. When Darkrai re-emerged from the shadows, it was in a much more nightmarish form, a Venomized form. There we have it. What do you guys think of today's Venomized Pokemon episode? Thought it was quite fun to take the old Venomized Pokemon series we kind of did on the channel at the start, about 3 years ago now. But let me know which one's your favourite in the comments below, and should we make this into a new series? Don't forget, we have the community redraw where you're creating your own superpowered character. It could be a creature, it could be a superhero, a supervillain, but make sure you list their powers and a weakness. Submission deadline for that is the 21st of April, so be sure to get those submissions in. Details on how to enter are in the description below. Stay safe, everybody. Catch you next time.